Incremental greetings. Let's continue with the Supermemo course, the Pleasurable expansion. Now it's time for imposing a template and detaching a template. This is quite complex. It's not complex to understand, but how Fowl presents this, it's so complex that I'm shooting this video for the third time because it was chaotic. Then I realized I spent 20 minutes recording that. So I tried my best. And what I will do now is not explain why or when it's useful, just what is happening, so you can understand both features. Because Fowl actually uses two features while he only explains one, and I think he's kind of confused at some degree. Let's dig into that.
There's a very simple trick that Nias taught me. Thank you, Nias. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do this, which is Ctrl-Shift-F2.
Ctrl-Shift-F2. He doesn't mention what he does, I think. Then, if I go to the menu, the element menu, template, do you see here it says Impose Template? Shift-Ctrl-F2. Remember that Shift-Ctrl-Ctrl-Shift, that order is commutative. The key binding doesn't change. This will impose the template, and something he will do later, I already advanced, it will be this thing, detach template. And notice that this feature doesn't have any key binding, by the way. Nice. Let's continue.
Is it Ctrl-Shift-F? Okay, I wasn't inside the element.
Okay, when he says he was not inside the element, he means the element window was not focused or active. It's a common pattern in Supermemo. One of the actions I can have is element window, press escape. Do you see that? And that's the same. Look exactly how it is now. The element window is not selected, is not focused. As soon as I press escape, it becomes focused. So now the key binding will work. If you remember, F4 for the tasks manager is the same thing. It needs focus or it won't work. It's not global. If I have, let's say, the stats window focused, same thing. As soon as I press escape, look at the color, boom, it becomes focused. So Ctrl-Shift-F2, that is to impose a template, works only when it's focused.
It simply means that this template is connected to all other templates which are article picture here.
No, there's only one template. It's that all of the elements that have the element template being applied are connected because they're all pointing to the same template registry member. This is what he means, using the official jargon at the very least.
If we overwrite the source data with the current template, it means that...
Remember that the source means, for me was the white thing, means is without the template, how it looks. After doing Ctrl-Shift-U, view the source, that view is the source. And you want to overwrite this with the template. In other words, you want the view without the template being overwritten.
And you're saying, I want to
And now comes the final boss, the part that I struggled the most.
overwrite that default for this element with the current template. So the default for my element becomes this layout, this design, okay? And I do yes.
Let me know if you got what he meant. I will rewind and explain little by little.
And this design for my element, for this element, I want to overwrite that default. And you're saying, I want to overwrite that default.
This default is not necessarily the archetype that I just shown. It's the actual state of the source view. With no template being applied, this will be overwritten.
For this element with the current template. So the default for my element,
the default from my element
becomes this.
What do you mean by this? I think it's the current state.
This layout, this design.
Okay.
And I do yes. And so now you saved that template as a default look
What?
for this one only element as a default. And so now you saved that template as a default look
Do you save a template for default look?
for this one only element.
The opposite. You are getting rid of the template, not applying anything. You're not adding anything. You're actually removing the effect of the template and have the source. Remember to toggle with Ctrl-Shift-U. You're undoing something, not doing something. You're not applying a template or setting a template. It's actually becoming templateless.
And now you do detach the template. Yes. This means that now you have to change, otherwise it doesn't show the update. This means that now this has no template, but you overwrote the data of that template, that default template, with your template.
It doesn't make it. This part is what I don't follow.
That default overwrote the data of that template, with your.
You're right. The default template.
Okay, with article picture. This is the article picture look, but what you did was detaching it from all the net of other templates like this. So
Here's where he's mixing detaching and imposing. It's really confusing. So instead of actually decoding what he says, that I actually tried, I will just tell you what it is from my part. Okay, this is the source. This is how it looks with the template. If I go visit another element, I come back, I will see this again by default. It doesn't save the state. If I just check the source, as soon as I do any action, the source will disappear. It's not like a toggle that from now on I will see this element with the source view. No, I will see it again like this with the template being applied. If I now impose it and now detach it, what do we have now? Ctrl-Shift-U is the same. So now how it look with the template being applied is how now looks as the source. It becomes the source. If now I apply a different template that looks different, let's say this one, the article picture, now I can check the source, and now the source equals to the other template, because now I have imposed that. Imagine that I have this t-shirt. I could wear any t-shirt, but now it gets into my skin, like in a tattoo kind of thing. So now I can remove my t-shirt and it will still look the same. But I can wear any other t-shirt anytime of a different template, basically, and it will look different, even if inside it looks like the previous template. I hope this is clear enough. I know it's a long video, but I cannot split this further because it's kind of hard to explain. In the next video, you will see why you should care about those features, detaching and imposing, and the use cases. See you in the next video.